you are absolutely able to snag a ride home with me after this.
Thank you.
Is he going to have a ride home to your home?
Huh?
Is he going to go sleep on your couch?
Oh, you want it to your house?
Yes, please.
Now,
I
listen.
don't want to sleep with you. You're lovely and I adore you, but
Wow.
You might have to fight Lindsay then if you did too. I don't know.
I don't want to fight Lindsay. I feel like she'd beat me up.
She would beat you up emotionally.
Just
Anyway,
I'm used to that.
The sound's been rolling. True believers! It is your Thursday night, live thing where we are here and we're doing stuff. It's me, I'm Tim. It's Oh Yeah, the Power Phase. Guess what? No, it's not. It's Wait. Did I roll a wild? Your Marvel Crisis Protocol vlog.
I'm glad
here,
you caught that because I didn't.
here on the Professional Casual Network. We are back. If you missed us last week, you didn't really, because we had a special episode with the one, the only Lexa White and Big Chuck, who none of us have seen in a while. Thank gosh we recorded that because I've forgotten what he smells like. So,
How does recording it help you with the smell?
we have a very special relationship, mostly based off of video smells.
Oh.
If you gotta ask, you can't afford it. But this week, on Wait, Did I Roll a Wild, we will be going over the Juggernaut card reveal. We will be going over Dan and Tyler's game from earlier this week. We will also be taking a look at the Dark Intruder encounter that comes with Big Dormommy Milkers herself, Dormammu.
Tim, mute your mic.
I'm so glad I'm not the only one who calls him Dormommy.
Oh, it's gotten to the point where now it autocorrects to Dormammy, and I was like,
You trained your phone
mission accomplished.
with your joke.
That's fantastic.
I like that a lot.
And we'll go over some of the other updates to that first 50 redo that they've been doing. I don't think we went over Okoye, some of the new banned cards, and some of the new restricted cards that we've all had hot takes on at the past. But now that they have finally come to pass, one of us is going to feel like an ass.
We're good at that.
So, let's get right into it. What hobby stuff have any of us done this week? As we saw in the Discord, I definitely broke into Chuck's house, hit him. Then,
You were violent.
well, to be fair,
You knocked him out.
similar to a reference that no one will get in the book Hail Mary, I need to be watched while I'm doing things. I just don't necessarily need the person watching me to be conscious. So
Isn't it the Hail Mary Project?
Yeah, probably. What'd I say?
Just Hail Mary.
Yeah.
There's probably multiple books out there
Project
called
is
that.
like it just comes afterwards sometimes. You can just add it to anything and they alphabetize it differently. But so I broke into his house, hit him real hard, painted up my Dormommy, painted up the portals and stuff to get ready for this Monday when we play the Dark Intruder Encounter. I'm pretty stoked, so that's what I did. I did like a whole lot of painting. Definitely
Wow.
me personally, and
Yes.
definitely no one else.
I got my Moon Knight totally done. Went with the Ultimate Spider-Man
Which
look.
looks really good, by the way.
I like it a lot. Thank you. I was pretty happy with that. He's real simple, but
Is that the one you played with Monday?
yes.
He looked fantastic.
Moon Knight. And then I got Blade. I got his like base coats down. He's not totally done, but he was playable because I used him on Monday
Blade
as well.
only is wearing one coat, though, right?
What do you mean? Yeah,
Okay.
I believe so.
All right. But so how many base coats does one coat possibly need?
Oh, I don't know why that totally went over my head. Yes.
Great joke, Tim.
Ba-dum-tsh.
I don't even have that button on here no more.
With
But
crickets.
yeah.
Oh, you had a cricket button?
I put that in post sometimes on other shows.
When I make really good jokes that goes over Dan's head because he's short, he puts that cricket button in. Kapow!
Now, that was better, I guess. That was just an insult.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, I was working on them. I've got Dormammu ready. I got Baby Iron Man totally just covered red to get some gold on there later. And I've been working on the base coat of red on Hulkbuster because that model is so big and there's so many details. I'm going to ruin a brush just doing the red base coat. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, legitimately. What primer did you use for him?
Wraithbone.
Wraithbone.
That's been my go-to since it came out. I like that it's slightly off-white. It's supposed to be made for contrast paints, but I'm not a huge fan of just straight white primer because if you miss anything,
Yeah.
it sticks out. But I don't know what it is. I like the Wraithbone. It's a really smooth primer. I like that one a lot.
I have always found that on the models that I definitely prime myself and don't pay anyone else to do, that the things that you said are things that I would agree or disagree with, as I am also a painter.
Right. I feel like there's somebody... Oh, and Amazing Spider-Man is still on my paint table, even though we've had him since like August or something.
You have played him, right?
Yeah, but I used the Scarlet Spider model that Chuck got me.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But yeah, I was trying to pick out the webbing and whatnot, and I got frustrated with it, so I just hit it with a wash, and now I just need to go back and re-highlight all the reds.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to. So I'm just like, well, if I don't use them, I don't have to paint them.
That's as a painter who's, that's something that I have definitely said.
And hopefully next week we'll get the rest of the Convocation wave with
Yes.
Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, Clea, Baron Mordo, Ancient One, Dr. Voodoo, and
I am
Hood.
so excited.
Which
for the
I think
Hood.
I'm the most excited for the Hood for painting and playing with. He looks super cool. He transforms into a possessed demon.
Oh, I already like the sound of him.
And while he has guns, which look like they shoot hellfire, he actually just
Magic
shoots
guns.
hellfire from his fingers, but uses the guns because he thinks they look cool.
He's got sweet magic guns.
Okay.
His
So
hands
instead
are
of
magic,
using
the guns
finger
aren't magic.
guns,
Yes.
he uses actual guns that
Yeah.
basically
walks
work
away
like finger
hard,
guns.
too, which
And
is
it's
super
really
cool.
fun to get Tim going by saying he has magic guns, because he becomes Mr. Brennan from the Lost Omens podcast and
It's
has to
true.
correct. They're not magic guns.
It's true. It's just such a cool fact to me that, like, this guy did all this stuff with demons and now has all these demon powers and occasionally gets possessed by a demon, can fire infernal hell bullets from his hands, but just uses guns anyway because it looks cool.
I feel
got-
like shooting fire out of your hands would look cooler.
Right, you'd
But-
think, but he's like, no guns. You gotta understand, I got this big hood.
You know,
My only defining trait.
to each their own.
He stole the idea from Bishop, where there was a long time in the X-Men where Bishop, instead of channeling, when he would he would blast energy
Yeah.
back, he would channel it through guns instead, just because it's Bishop and he thought it was cool.
To be fair,
Look at
it
this
was.
giant rifle I have, blam!
I remember thinking during some of that time frame too of being like, why is this superpower gun? Cable does that. That's dumb. And then
You learn that their superpowers are very different.
yeah, very much so. Very much. So.
I can't wait till we get Bishop in this game.
Oh yeah.
We were gonna someday.
Mm-hmm.
I like Bishop a lot.
Eventually.
Eventually! Probably before Iceman, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, guaranteed. There are two things guaranteed in MCP, and that is Bishop will absolutely be released at some point. They would be stupid not to. And number two, it'll definitely be before Iceman.
What's gonna come first? Bishop or Kate? Lucas Bishop or Kate Bishop?
Ooh. That's actually a really good question, especially with Hawkeye out right now. I feel like it would be a sweet time.
Would have been.
Would have been. Well, they still can.
They
could
certainly
still come
can.
hot in the heat. Listen, they can't release models that came out 3 months ago on, now. So I don't necessarily feel like they're capable of releasing models based on Disney's projections.
I don't think so.
But
At least at this point.
I think I would say Kate Bishop. I think Kate Bishop would come out before Lucas Bishop.
What's the difference between Kate and Lucas Bishop?
Lucas Bishop is Bishop. Kate
Okay.
Bishop
From
is
X-Men.
is a little tiny girl that shoots a bow and arrow.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like
that,
both
that
of them,
sums
so
it up.
I
Yeah.
like her already.
Yeah, she's one of my favorite characters. She's part of the Young Avengers. She's rad as hell.
She's so good on the show.
Yeah,
I haven't watched the newest episode yet, but episodes 1 and 2 were solid.
and the actress that played her voiced Vi in Arcane, which is
And Gwen Stacy in Into the Spider-Verse,
Yes.
which I'd forgotten about that one. I knew it was Vi because I was like, that name sounds so familiar because I just looked that up. She's really good.
a couple weeks ago, I had convinced Chuck to redo a whole bunch of models as characters from Venture Brothers.
Oh God.
And now I'm gonna need to buy a third round and have them done as League of Legends characters. I need Crossbones as Vi, like bad,
Ooh,
right?
Ooh, I
Yeah.
love that idea.
or Hulkbuster.
Oh,
Just take Hulkbuster hands
big punch
and
fist.
put it on Crossbones. Oh, that'd be hella cool. All
That
right,
would be awesome.
right? Oh,
All right, so we have a new segment. I don't know many League of Legends characters. I don't know any outside of Arcane, but
Fair.
like we could talk about like who would we proxy as Jinx and Echo and whatnot. We could do that later because we need to talk about the myth, the man, and the legend.
Kane Marco. Whoever
Xavier's half brother himself.
Yes. A gentleman who would not just hit you, Charles, but he would hit you with Charles. It's the Juggernaut. Bitch.
Hit you with Charles. Sure. I'm so pumped. We've been waiting over a year for this model. He was spoiled on the Brotherhood card that came with Magneto last November. Not even November of 21. November of 2020.
Yeah.
So it's been a year.
It's been over a year that we knew he was coming, and we still don't have him.
It'll be a year in between when Poland gets him and when we get him, too.
That's absolutely true.
So, but here's the deal. They've done so right by this character. They've done so good by him.
Oh, it's worth the
even
wait.
His injured side is like its own like other nest that is just so cool. But let's jump right into it. Burn through the actual stuff that's on the card because there's a lot and it's pretty sweet.
He's got a busy. He's not basic.
He's not
got a
basic.
busy card.
So 8 health, short movement, size 4, threat 5, 4/3/5 for defenses. Pretty basic strike. Range 2, strength 5, 1 for damage dealt, and then push on a wild. I'm the Juggernaut. Also range 2, this is a spender, 4 power to do, strength 7. On a wild, you get rush. So after the attack is resolved, if it is during this character's activation, which means, obviously, that he can attack outside of his activation, this character may immediately use the Nothing Stops the Juggernaut superpower without paying the power cost.
And initially, it might be like, he's a little underwhelming for a 5.
Which is exactly what I thought when I read it. I was like, he's dumb. This is stupid. And then I read the card, which I don't normally do.
I continued reading. It's like if you're playing Pathfinder and you're like, oh, this spell is amazing. Oh, I didn't read the last sentence. That changes everything.
That
Yes.
sounds like me too.
So
what is Nothing Stops the Juggernaut that you get for free after doing I'm the Juggernaut and rolling a wild?
So if you don't do this after rolling a wild while using I'm the Juggernaut, it would cost normally 3 power. But since it's free in this particular condition, you are pushed short. You do not stop its movement if it contacts a size 3 or smaller interactive terrain feature. Instead, the contacted terrain feature is straight up gone, destroyed. Bye-bye. Then, the character continues to be pushed. If this character contacts one or more other characters, one contacted character suffers 1 damage. Only 1, which I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah, I'm not even.
If I run into all the people, I'm only going to hurt Bullseye every time. He's
1
a threat.
damage.
Yeah.
He is exactly 2 threats.
Correct. Yeah, he's double trouble. Then this character stops as normal. A character can be damaged by the superpower only once per turn. If this character has the stagger special condition, it loses it. No one can stagger the Juggernaut is something that someone would correct me in the Discord by saying, well, he can be staggered. You can just remove it with Nothing Stops the Juggernaut. I'd say, you know what I meant!
It was a joke, okay?
It was accurate. It's fine.
So I want to talk about this power melding really well with Magneto's Brotherhood after we finish going over his card. Because,
I mean, bring it up now. No, that's a great point.
all right, sure. So we know he's Brotherhood, obviously. So Magneto's Brotherhood, if people don't remember, because we don't see Magneto that often at a 6th threat. Anytime a terrain feature is destroyed after the effect is resolved, choose a number of allied characters equal to or less than the terrain feature's size. Each chosen character gains a power. A character can only gain 1 power as a result of this leadership ability per turn. So if he's got 3 or 4 other allies, you just Nothing Stops the Juggernaut through a couple pieces of terrain. Everybody gets power.
Correct.
Pretty sweet.
And this is
really nice.
Yeah.
It really is. The Juggernaut is a support piece for Brotherhood. That just.
I don't know if I go that far.
Oh, I mean, only in that one specific instance. But listen, he cares about his friends, and he will provide them the confidence to power themselves.
I think with that huge base, moving short is actually a big distance, and he can hit a number of pieces of terrain as he does this. I'm not a huge fan that he stops if he hits any other character. So, like, if he runs into an enemy Toad,
He should
he
bowl
hits the
through
brakes.
him.
Right? Like, I get the 1 damage, but they should be displaced. somehow.
Correct. Yeah, they should change that to a single character stops the Juggernaut.
I love all the memes that were out immediately once this card was revealed. It was like, nothing stops the Juggernaut except other characters.
Oh, it's so good.
But I get for the way the game is played, it makes sense mechanically.
Yeah.
And not everything can fit exactly with the comics. Everything else about this card's awesome.
So his next is a reactive that costs 1 power and is called Nice Punch. If the character would suffer damage, it may use a superpower, reduce the amount of damage suffered by 1. So it's kind of a very basic inert to pain, and it can happen anywhere. So he can, in fact, stop bleed, because it does not need to be as a result of an attack or anything like that. So nothing can bleed the Juggernaut either, unless he doesn't have power to spend.
But we'll see in a second. It's pretty easy for him to have power.
It is. He has a helmet, which is an innate. I'm not sure what the helmet is in reference to.
I think they misspelled the German name Helmut.
Gotcha.
Which
okay.
Kane Marco is clearly a very Germanic name.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree. What
Keep
does
the straight face is stupid.
what does that mean in German? What is that in reference to?
What?
Helmut.
Helmut is just a
It's like a
fairly
demon
common
dog.
German name.
Oh, gotcha.
But it's Helmut.
So I took that as like, you know how there's like Hellfire Hounds? It would be like
That's
a runt
what I was
of that.
thinking.
Yeah, it's like the old Helmut's at it again.
So does he just have a little German guy on his head then?
Yeah, somebody should get a little spike on his head.
Yeah. So what Helmet does is this character cannot be pushed or advanced by the special effects of enemy mystic attacks or enemy superpowers. Awesome. It's an innate. You don't have to spend for it. We've seen this in a couple other places where, you know, if you use your mystic defense as the defense for this thing and it's a mystic attack, then you can't be moved, or you have to spend 2 to ignore it or something like that. This is just all the time. As long as that Helmut is on, he cannot be mudded.
Right.
So
He says to hell with that.
does this affect throws too then?
No. So
Okay.
it specifies pushed or advanced, so he can't be moved against his will. A throw is ignored here.
Okay.
Good question, though.
If you have the ability to throw size 4 things, which a few people do, even less people than ever. Yes, Hulk absolutely could. Thor, I believe, also could on his strike if he rolls a wild. I believe it's size 4 or less.
I think
think
he's
so.
also got the strongest Avenger, and that's size 4 or less.
Yeah. So there certainly are characters that can chuck this hunk around, but there's
It's not going to be
Not
often.
a lot.
But that list has very drastically dwindled. Kingpin, I don't believe, can even do it anymore.
I think it's size 3 or less.
I think
on
it is,
Kingpin.
too.
I'm pretty sure that was the change.
His last innate is unstoppable momentum. Mob.
Mob?
His last innate is unstoppable
His last innate.
momentum.
It's not his last innate.
I just wanted to throw a mom joke in there, and I messed it up by saying it correctly. I'm so mad at myself. After this character resolves a move action during its activation, it gains 2 power. This next attack made by this character adds 3 dice to its attack roll.
There we go.
This character can only be affected by the superpower once a turn.
Oh my lord.
Oh, yeah. So now when he moves, his builder is 8. Or when he moves, I'm the Juggernaut is 10.
So so it's like, oh, he has to move first, but it's like, well, he only has range 2 on both of his attacks, so the chances of him moving to get into range is good anyway, and then he gets more dice and power.
Correct.
So he actually has a pretty big threat range where he can move to generate power to nothing stops the Juggernaut to push himself short and then clobber somebody.
Now, initially when I read this card, how I took that, I didn't actually read Unstoppable Momentum as saying a move action.
Yes.
I assumed it was where he moved or was moved that it happened. So nothing stops the Juggernaut cannot, in fact, trigger that.
Correct.
Which is a shame because that's what I want to happen.
Right.
I want to be able to use I'm the Juggernaut at the start of my turn, deck some dude into oblivion, move myself to do 1 damage to Toad when he stops me from moving, and then be able to strike him, to get that power back.
Good try, but no. Yeah, I commented on a couple of things on Facebook where people are like, well, if he gets pushed, would that activate Unstoppable Momentum? No, it says a move action. So
Correct.
you're far from the only person that didn't read the rule.
Warpath also doesn't do it because it's a movement action that is not on his turn.
Right, it's
This
an
has to be
advance.
during his activation.
Yes. Yep. So it's limited in that you can't build a push Juggernaut around list
Correct.
and give him all the power in the world because Helmet only works against enemy effects, right?
Correct. So that means Jean Grey can in fact push him.
If he's already
if
activated.
he's already activated, or things similar to that.
His actual last innate, though,
Is immunity to stun.
That's
So
funny.
nothing can stun the Juggernaut.
but there we go. He can be staggered,
He can.
but he can't be stunned.
I mean, normally I would say he's immune to slow as well, but as I've been told, saying that when it is not true can in fact have an impact on the game. So I no longer say it. I just joke about it. But on his flip side, and this is the thing that makes me so happy, is on the art of the card, he no longer has the Helmote on him, which means his Mystic defense drops from a 5 to a 2, as he is no longer psychically protected. With that.
That's a big drop.
Yeah.
Yep. And he also loses something. Maybe not.
He loses the helmet
He loses
rule.
the helmet. Oh, so those are connected.
Yes.
That makes
Have you read this card?
That makes a lot of sense.
He loses the helmet, but he gains Avatar of Sidorak.
Which lets him throw stuff finally.
Yeah, I'm a little... That's the one thing I complain about with this card is that he doesn't have a throw on his healthy side.
Correct.
But
We do.
there's literally no room on the card for it.
Yeah, there's 100%
So
that.
he has a throw at all, which is good. I like his terrain feature or enemy character. It's both size 3 or less.
So he also can't throw the Hulk.
No, I'm a little disappointed that it's not size 4 or less
Yeah.
here. That's a little surprising to me. It's within 2, which makes sense. He just grabs it, but he does throw a medium, which is nice.
Which is very nice.
Medium's pretty far to throw stuff. It's typical cost 3 power, so...
Well, and so we do know from, when they first announced this character would be coming out soon, a year ago, that he does have a tactics card, which allows him to get a throw in once.
Right.
So,
forgot
That's
about that one.
something at least.
it is.
Yeah.
And I think it costs the same. I think it's literally a 3 power tactics card that lets you throw a size 3 or less. It might just be interactive terrain. I forget, though.
But then you could do 2 throws in the turn because it's not the superpower that's limited once per turn.
Correct. Though I'm sure the card now that I'm relying on that says if he's injured or if he's healthy or something.
Was that? I'll take a look quick, see if it was shared
And
in our
they
Discord.
might have mentioned it in the panel to play, but I don't think they did. Either way.
Yeah, the panel to play didn't mention any tactics cards. They usually save those for a separate article.
So I think, as far as all things are concerned, Juggernaut is a super exciting piece. I think he's going to be a lot of fun to play. Competitively, we don't talk about that. So,
What's competitive mean?
from my understanding, it's something that people can do when they read cards on a regular basis, and also know how to play the game well, and
that's
do
a
that
thing?
against other people that number 1 can read the cards and number 2 also play the game.
I thought you just reacted to what your opponent did and went, "Oh shoot! I didn't think of that."
So that was my understanding.
That's what I thought it was. But
Oh, okay. So we're on the same page here.
I thought I started each round with, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot that. Do you mind if I take that back?"
Tyler was very kind and let me do that at one point in our game because I had forgot to roll for Moon Knight's multiple personalities,
yeah.
his first activation.
Very.
Ravensguard reminded me in the chat because that's what he does and he's awesome. I should say they are awesome. I don't know if Ravensguard is a he or not.
All I know is those ravens are guarded.
Right.
very well.
And Tyler allowed, because I rolled to gain extra power, so Tyler allowed me to say as I moved, he could pick up an objective and then move again because I'd gone right past it. So, in a competitive situation, that probably wouldn't have happened.
Correct.
And there also wouldn't have been people in chat reminding me how to play my characters.
But to your point earlier, he fits in great, incredible on Brotherhood. Specifically, Magneto's Brotherhood, yes. Which, that's expensive. That's 11.
Well, it's already 11 threat.
11 threat out of the gate. Though, granted, it almost doesn't matter what you're running over at that point. You're going to be able to put a power member on each of your, roster members because you don't have much more than those 2. So,
And they're both
always nice too.
right.
and they're both big beefy boys, so
And then he can throw stuff afterwards, so he's another one that, even if he's not crashing and brashing through things, that he's going to be able to chuck some stuff once you get him hurt.
you know what I actually really want to see him in is Midnight Suns. Could you imagine bumping the knight with that huge base and just be like, "I'm over here now." Boom.
Gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, he's 2 blocks over. He teleported range 1. I'm a ninja. Sorry, Rocco, I stepped on your foot.
He just snuck in here. I don't know where he came from.
He started off over here in my armpit.
As he does.
As
the
you
dog.
do.
Oh, good. Ravensguard confirmed. Thank you.
But no, I'm super excited for him. I think I do think we need a little bit of a threat tempo to Brotherhood to bring down the power scale a little bit, because I want to use all the big ones. I want to use Scarlet Witch and Magneto and.
I want to give Scarlet Witch a whirl.
Oh, she is so awesome.
good.
If you roll a lot of skulls, I mean, you're pretty much unstoppable.
Did you watch Monday's game?
I phased in and out. I was in a book club. It was very important.
That's fair. That's why you weren't there. Yeah, Brotherhood.
I did ask what Tyler's Bearded Dragon's name was in the chat.
Oh, that's
That
right.
was
That was
you.
you.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was very important. I needed to know.
One thing I do have to say about Brotherhood is they're in a nice spot where a lot of other affiliations aren't, where they have one of every threat other than Dormammu's 8, right? They've Toad at 2. They have Mystique.
At 3.
Is it just Mystique? Quicksilver at 3.
Yeah.
We've got Sabretooth at 4. We've got Juggernaut and Scarlet Witch at 5, and then Magneto at 6. Unless I'm missing somebody and then I'm joking. So they have that nice spread.
Yeah.
But I want to use Magneto and Scarlet Witch and Juggernaut, but that's only 16 points, doable.
All right, AMG, here's what we need from you. And I know that when we say it here, it's going to become canon. It is not a joke, and you'll do it for us. We need some 30 and 40 threat Crisis Eye, so we can just run fat stacks of 5 and 6 threat characters.
I mean, do we just want to make one until they do it for us? Let's make up a
Homebrew.
30 threat game and then just play it for 4 hours.
So I will say, when I've decided the threat levels of the custom Crisis Eye that we've done, it's been like, how many points do you want to play this week?
Yep.
So
I don't know, 18.
I'm pretty
Sure.
certain they're all 20.
Is that what you start with? Is how many points and then go from there?
When,
Yeah.
Or
well,
do you
yeah,
have
when
a
we're
base
figuring out who's
idea?
playing what game during the week, it's usually like, all right, who's playing? Okay, how many threat do we want to build? Does anybody have a list in mind? How many threat is that? Okay, let's build around that.
I love that though.
Because we definitely play the game as the way it's intended with rosters and 10 tactics cards.
Yep. Yeah, just keep the same 5 in my box.
It's perfectly balanced.
In every way.
It's all things
We
equal.
tried to have let's everybody build a roster for the month, and then when we know who's playing what game, we can build from that roster. Everybody's like, no, I just want to play whatever I want.
Yeah. Yep.
I like
mean,
that method.
So do I. You get in the mood. You want to do something. You're like, well, I have to use Bullseye again because he's in every roster I build. Or this week, I really want to play Bullseye, so I'm gonna.
Because he's in every roster.
I'm gonna punch him into a roster with a bunch of the A-Force.
I've been with the dearth in releases until last month. I was having a lot of fun with these kind of goofy themed lists, and I need to try out this blue list.
Yes.
I can't wait for what was it? The team name is I just blued myself.
Michael, that is such a good name.
So it's all characters that have blue skin or fur. Can't wait.
So who's on that team again? We have
Beast, Mystique, Proxima Midnight, Nebula, Ronan.
Oh.
And then if we need to go bigger, we can kind of push in Venom because he's usually highlighted blue.
Yeah, I think Venom fits for that.
So I think I'm pretty sure with Venom it's 19. I just did the math last night. Now I forget.
I think you said 19.
I think it's either 15 without or 19 with Venom.
That
I like
sounds
it.
right.
Because they're real cheap. Because we got 3, 6, 8,
Who do we appreciate?
11. Yeah, 15, and then 19 with Venom.
What affiliation? Is there an affiliation you can make with that
No.
group? Nuts. What about
There's Mystique. Mystique's the only leader in the group, and there's no other Brotherhood, so.
just paint your Dormammu with blue skin or blue flames, and then you can do Dark Dimension.
Oh, yeah, there we
Go.
go.
Then that's what 27 threat, and
Love it.
you're good to go. So let's
Horrifying.
touch on some things that we skipped. One thing that I know Dan was calling for, and Chuck and I were very vehemently against,
Eat it.
and that was I'm sorry. There's one thing that you wanted and you got a half measure. There's another thing that I don't think any of us were asking for to happen, but happened anyway. And that's all you got is now banned.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fair. I hate to see cards banned. I don't like thinking. Listen. I love AMG. I love Dallas Kemp. Please return my calls. Please unblock my phone number. For real. I'll stop sending the feet pics with faces drawn on them. I thought it was cute and funny. Maybe you didn't. That's cool. But all you got was fine unrestricted. I feel. I don't want to see things move to the ban list because I feel like that means that AMG has made a mistake. And I don't want to see that.
I don't know if it's so much as they made a mistake as people are just abusing something that's pretty good. When you see it in every list, like I've tried to watch other battle reports on YouTube, because sometimes it's just like I haven't got to play in a little while. I just want to watch people play the game, and I'm like, oh, they have all you got again because they take it every single battle report on YouTube. It's like, yeah, this card needs to just go away because I'm sick of seeing the same thing over and over and over again. And it's not even anything special. I get to go again. Wow.
I'm glad I didn't take that now. Because
Can't
I looked
now.
at it.
Nerd. Yeah, when Tyler was building this list, he's like, oh, drop off is really cool. And I was like, oh, don't open that can of worms.
Yeah,
Can't take drop off. He's like, oh, why?
Off. We miss you, bud. And
wish I could've
now you
used
got
you.
company with all you got and hired muscle. So
Hired muscle too.
yeah.
That
Was
is
another
also
one I
been
was gonna
banned.
take.
Because they're so good.
To be fair, I never actually wanted to use hired muscle. It just had bullseye on it, so I wanted it in my roster.
I don't think I ever used it either. And I was like, I mean, I guess I understand why this is banned, but whatever.
Yeah.
All you got wasn't ever a big thing in our group. It wasn't, but we tend to shy away from like the hotness and the meta.
Correct.
Other than that one game where you were trying to throw it for me and I still couldn't win back when I feel like I really couldn't play. And now I think I'm middling.
So I was so happy with that just because I also did not like to use all you got because it was I felt like it was the try hard thing to do. So I used it in a way that I thought was really funny and would make people mad, and it still worked out.
It still worked. So real quick, for Tyler's sake, if he hasn't read this card yet, all you've got allows you to take a second activation with a character as soon as their activation ends, but then they either get dazed or KO'd if they're injured.
Yep, I remember it because I was looking at it. I was thinking about using it with Hulk if he got really, really low. I was just gonna go,
Yeah.
destroy everything around him
Fantastic
and let
for
him
that.
drop.
So here's the incredible thing about using it on Hulk or She-Hulk, and this is honestly when it got to be too far. The way I used it, what I thought was really funny, was I used it on Thanos round 1 out of the gate.
With the time gem, with the old time gem, so we had 3 actions.
Oh,
with
my
the time
Lord.
gem and I think the reality or something or mine.
I
or
don't remember
something
what
like
else.
that.
Didn't matter.
But I used it right out of the gate. I moved up, I activated it. I'm gonna daze myself, so I punched someone. I didn't do much with it, but
I think you dazed 2 characters and were on my side of the table. And I was like, what am I supposed to do about this?
MODOK. Yeah. But so on Hulk, here's the thing. So at the end of that character's second activation, they daze themselves.
Yep.
They don't take enough damage to daze themselves. They just daze themselves. So there's another card called Field Dressing, where if a character is dazed, you remove the daze token and 1 damage from them. So with Hulk, you could run in someplace, punch a bunch of people, all you've got, punch a bunch of more people, he dazes but doesn't take damage. Someone else field dressings him, he's at full health again, undazed, just ready to go.
That's horrifying.
Yeah,
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that that's how it worked. There was one day in our group chat for the show where I was like, "Whoa, wait! This is something that works this way? I just thought they died. I thought
what
they
I
took
thought.
damage and died. No, they don't. No damage is ever put on them. They just daze, and you take that daze token gone, and they're fighting fit.
I just figured he'd flop over and be done for the game, so I was gonna wait until he got really low if I was gonna
Right.
use it, but
Nope, it's even worse. It's even
that's
worse.
terrible, and I love it.
So, but now it's banned.
No more.
well-
And we decided early on, about a year ago, when they first started restricting and banning cards, that we would follow the organized play stuff, even though we're far from organized play.
So
we're as casual as you can
We
get.
need some barrier. You know what I mean?
So drop off being banned, I don't think has ever been used on the channel. Maybe
We
once.
did, and we used it wrong.
Of course we did. Well, that was the very beginning. We were pretty newbies to the game.
Well, once again, I don't know if our listeners have figured this out yet, that I'm illiterate and I do not read cards. So what Drop Off did was allowed a flying character to move a character with them with their move, and then they got a free attack. I never read that free attack part, which is the huge part of that card, which
Oh,
is what made
massive.
it be banned.
I
So
didn't
was just
realize
it's
it gave a free
movement.
attack either.
Who cares, right?
I was just thinking, move them.
I was like, oh, I can move crossbones. Finally, I can move crossbones a little bit quicker.
So my one experience with that card ruined it for me. I was playing against Tactical Taylor. I think it was the second game he had played, maybe. I taught him, and then we were playing in his basement, and he had Green Goblin and Venom. And he used drop-off round 1 with Green Goblin to move Venom up the table. And Venom got moved medium, essentially. And then like you place him like within one of the other characters, so he's even further up. And I was using Web Warriors with Miles, because Amazing Spider-Man wasn't even on the radar yet. And Venom was just like, and killed Miles like immediately. And I was like, what? And then the next round, he just did it again, and Miles was off the table, top of round 2. And I was like, drop off is stupid. This card is dumb. And then they banned it like a month later, and I was like, yes.
So
That's why you were excited. To
Yes, I have
banned.
one experience with it. But it was a negative play experience because I moved Miles into that position because I was like, okay, Venom is there. He can't get to me with a movement and an action, like or a movement and an attack. I know I'm out of range, and then drop off happened, and I was like, it just ruined my whole game plan.
No, I get that. And when things actually ruin player experience, I do feel like, as much as we joked about it and we did the RIP drop off stuff, like it was funny, but
There's a reason it was removed.
yeah. The other thing that moved from the restricted list to the banned list was a crisis card, Panic Grip City, as evacuation efforts continue. We played this one, thankfully, one last time just a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
To get that out of the way, and we didn't know that change was coming. But I was like, it's restricted. We haven't played it in a while. Let's do this. This was the one where there were civilians you could pick up, and if you had 6 power, you could evacuate that civilian and then get, I think, 4 or 6.
I want to say 2 or 4 victory points.
You got like a lot more from just holding it. And
Okay.
it could happen whenever. Just on that character's activation, they could turn it in. So you could win the game like, yeah,
Yeah, and again,
off cycle.
it wasn't so much that it's so powerful, but it creates negative play experiences why they got rid of it. Because there was a game I was playing against Chuck where I did that, and at the end of the game I was like, okay, I could do this or this. And then Chuck or Anthony said something about the card, and I reread it, and I was like, oh, I have 6 power in this character. I was Wong. I have 6 power on Wong. I could just get rid of this thing, get the points, and then I win. And Chuck was so mad. He was not happy the game ended that way.
Understandable. That kind of sounds like a weird way to end a game.
Yes,
Yeah.
because it was out of nowhere, and then it was just done. Because I was at 16 points
Yep.
before the cleanup phase, so I can totally see it creating negative play experiences. I don't mind it being gone. We didn't use that one that often anyway because we didn't really like it.
Yeah. The only thing other change to restricted and banned lists is something Dan has been calling for, and something that you were calling for it to be banned. I feel that restricted is a good spot for it. Was Bitter Rivals.
Yeah, I don't.
Now
Yeah, I knew it wasn't gonna be banned. I kind of wanted to just because every time it's used against me, it's devastating. But I just think it's too strong of a card. So restricted I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I am also fine with it because it is a very strong card. And it being on the restricted list makes me a little less motivated to take it. Outside of the normal, I'm never going to take all you've got because it's on every list. Bitter Rivals is still really good and super tempting.
Yeah.
Which, if you're not familiar, what Bitter Rivals does is you place it on an enemy character, and then every ally around that enemy, or every other enemy around that enemy,
Yeah.
all the enemies to you around that particular enemy,
But not that particular enemy.
but not that particular enemy. I'm making this super clear.
Very.
Roll 1 less attack and defense dice.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Excessive.
It's brutal. So last time I used it a few weeks ago against him and affected like 3 characters around one other one, and it's just it's too, if it was 1 less attack die or 1 less defense die, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But the fact that it's both and it can hit so many characters at once, the fact that it's range 3, like if they change something, make it range 2 or make it only affect attack or defense, and I'd be fine with it. But it's just so good.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
Well, and the cool thing about, the power phase and the way that we do things is we get to see kind of some of those outlying extremes. So Dan and I were playing a game and the first time I actually read all of the rules on Bitter Rivals, Dan had clustered up effectively his whole team. I had Vision, I cast Bitter Rivals on, I think, Captain America, who's in the dead center.
There was
Vision.
like Bucky, Rocket, somebody else around him. It affected, I think, 3 other characters, and it was just like, wait, what?
Who then all got hit by a beam, rolling 1 less dice on a defense dice. So, and it was...
That sounds terrible.
It was a lot.
Ripped them apart.
It was, in fact, a lot. So I think that's a good spot for it. It and Brace for Impact being both restricted, I feel actually is pretty solid. It moving to the restricted list changes the meta in a big way.
Yeah. They also changed Doom Prophecy heavily.
Yeah, I don't think it should be on the restricted list anymore.
I kind of agree. So Doom Prophecy, they made only Asgard affiliation.
Yeah.
Which is, okay. So now you're seeing it in, a fraction of the lists we saw before. Because it was unaffiliated. Now you can only take it in Asgard, which still only has Thor as a leader. So, like, I kind of agree. I don't think it needs to be restricted anymore.
Yeah.
Because they just restricted it that way.
Loki doesn't count as a leader for them?
He's not a leader for Asgard, no.
That's kind of weird, but I guess it makes sense.
I mean, we'll probably get Alligator Loki eventually, and he can lead them.
What?
the variant Loki affiliation. Yeah. Oh, that would actually be awesome if they made a new affiliation just for Loki variants and never did it for anybody else.
Oh my God,
would love
yes.
that.
I want Classic Loki and Alligator Loki and President Loki and Sylvie Loki.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Just a swarm of Lokis.
That sounds great. Well, they all, I mean, Alligator Loki just has like a bite your hand off attack.
Correct. Yeah. It's shock, technically. You're losing some of your attack potential.
Classic Loki has like grand illusions. Oh no, that's a tactics card.
Yeah.
But would he build like the whole city? Like,
yeah.
He can have Loki's illusion power, but is way better.
Correct. You can, instead of the trickster thing where he moves away a little bit, he turns himself into a piece of space dust and floats around for 1,000 years until he lands on a planet. That's how he got away from Thanos in that show, Classic Loki.
Oh, I totally forgot that.
He's like, oh yeah, no, Thanos, yeah, he killed all those dudes, so I just pretend to be like, some dirt and floated around space.
Well, I totally missed that line.
For a long
How'd
time.
I miss that?
It was really good.
Is this that like spin-off one of
The show Loki on Disney Plus?
Okay.
Highly recommend. It's really good. Where were we at? Oh, we have a couple other characters that got updated that we didn't get to talk about because we weren't live last week, and they dropped was the Monday or Tuesday of Thanksgiving week.
Correct.
Starting with Black Panther, the first one on the file because they're alphabetical.
Which is nice.
It took a while for me to figure out what was changed. Really disappointed they didn't change his builder for the push to be a May.
Yeah.
Tyler and I were both lamenting this last night when he was building his list for Monday. That why is it not a May?
I don't understand.
Especially with his kit as a whole. He has a lot of movement, he's long, and he has pounce. So when you do pounce in there and you want to attack twice, and then you push him too far away to hit, it's dumb. It makes me real mad.
That's happened to me multiple times where
Granted.
I haven't used Black Panther in a while, so I pounce to get into range just because I want to attack twice. Then he strikes, and then I'm like, shoot, his kinetic burst is also range 2. Now I can't attack anything.
Right. I would have loved to see kinetic burst change to range 3.
Agreed.
But here's the thing. As long as you are pouncing into and trying to strike twice someone that is a small or medium base, you can attack them twice still. It is only if you are not nuts to butts with them beforehand. So that's the only thing I'll say, because someone told me that and it's like, well, the way small movement works, and I think it might have been Lexa White actually. It was like, as long as the base is not too big, if you are actually like up against the model and you push it away small, they are still within range. Because the short movement is smaller than the size 2 ruler.
That's how I
just measured that wrong.
Yeah.
That
thinking of using him was just get him base to base before I smack someone.
Mm-hmm.
But that's still really annoying.
It is.
It should be a May, in my opinion.
So the changes that they did do here was they reduced the cost of the Mantle of the Black Panther, which is awesome, which is huge.
That went down?
Incredible. Yeah, that used to be 3.
Oh, how'd I miss that change? That's a big one.
That is
because Mantle of the Black Panther is so good.
Because it's all attacks. So when making attacks this turn, this character may reroll any number of its attack dice. When making attacks in general, not the next attack, all attacks.
I didn't notice that.
No, they didn't. It was 2 power.
Oh, was it 2 before?
Yeah. His changes are incredibly minor. They reworded his King of Wakanda leadership ability just to add the during the modified dice step to have that clarity in language. And there was one other thing that was changed. They added that his push only works on size 3 or less.
Oh,
Because it used to be just push the target character small.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't see him pushing Hulk
No.
very well.
Right.
Or
No.
Hulkbuster.
Granted, because of the whole his MCU thing, his kinetic suit or whatever, I could see him being able to push things maybe a little bit bigger. But size 3 is also pretty big.
Yeah. I'm fine with
It's
that.
like 2 crossbones or 1.5 crossbones, that's a lot of bones.
Yeah, so he got very, very minor changes. We knew Bullseye. What was the next one we hadn't seen yet?
I know Winter Soldier was one.
They're like, wait, all at the end, Okoye and Winter Soldier.
Are they at the end?
I think that was the only ones we
W
hadn't
starts
seen
with-
yet.
Yeah, so Winter Soldier is the last one. So they added rapid fire to the assault rifle, right? That had not been there before, which is real good. Real good. Granted, it's on a strength 4 attack still. They didn't up that, but that's fine. It's range 5. That's how far Bullseye can throw, you know?
Bullseye cannot throw range 5.
Hold on, does Hawkeye do more damage with a bow than a...
Oh, then
An
Winter Soldier
assault
does with
rifle?
an assault rifle? Yes. Yep, that is
Yeah,
accurate.
because he's more accurate.
Okay.
And he can do status effects. Yeah, but they added rapid fire on a hit, which is chef's kiss.
It is.
This helps this character so much because the assault rifle is so important for his kit.
It really is.
Because he can do it after Red Fury, and then he's got your back, which they did increase the power cost of that by 1, because now you can shoot twice with that, potentially.
Yes.
With got your back, you can make an attack if somebody dazes or KOs an ally of yours. Specifically, I think you have to do assault rifle, right? Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So now you can potentially make 2 shots with it if you get that hit
Here's the thing. Thank goodness
for Dallas
they
count.
changed the way Doom Prophecy works. Because Winter Soldier is now capable of 6 attacks a turn pretty consistently. With Doom Prophecy, you are talking about... So if you can Red Fury twice, get an assault rifle attack afterwards, and have that follow up into another one. Let's do the math real quick. I'm sure other people have, but I don't know how to read. So
Math and numbers are your thing, so.
So, no, remember, wisdom over intelligence. It is the application of those numbers. So, if he sacked that physical attack to get 3 extra attacks on his physical attacks, his Red Fury would be 10. If he's getting 2 of those, that's 20 there.
Oh, if he's using Doom Prophecy. Okay,
Yes.
I got what you're saying.
And then if you're getting effectively 4 assault rifles off of that as well at 7 each, that's 28 plus 20, 48 attack dice.
I would roll that
Nice.
for 3 damage.
Oh, yeah.
If he's in Asgard, which, sure, he's a rogue agent too, so you don't have to take the other Asgard characters that are all better than their leader anyway.
Rude, but accurate.
That's mean.
It's true though.
So, with the change to Doom Prophecy, it just has to be. Would he count actually as an Asgardian?
I don't
able to use
think
that?
I don't think it has to be played on an Asgard character. It's just Asgard affiliation
Oh,
instead of unaffiliated. I'll have to double check the file quick. I'm not positive.
huh. Okay, yeah. Listen, I'll take it. And then Okoye, you say?
Okoye, which I'm pretty happy with these changes. She was one that I had like a hot take a few
Yeah.
months ago that I thought she
And I
should
thought
be
was
changed.
very valid as well.
And I like what they did. So they got rid of her power build for the Vibranium Spear Blast.
Yeah, that was
I
needed.
believe was just gain 1 power.
It's a huge reason why she was taken. Yep.
So and then they also nerfed General Dodora Milaje a little bit so that she can only reroll 1 die in her defense rolls, not attack and defense rolls.
She is still an absolute tank bodyguard.
She's still great, but she's not an Inhuman anymore with
Yes.
that. And I like the changes. I was talking to Tyler about this last night as well. The change to Vibranium Spear Blast is big because it means she can't reliably get bodyguard every single turn.
Correct.
Because she'd gain her power during the power phase, and then she would Vibranium Spear Blast from range 4, and then just get that power no matter what you rolled, and then she'd be able to bodyguard rinse and repeat.
Well, and that's a
It's
huge.
no longer an extra hit point bar.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that her Vibranium Spear Blast was able to go as far as Bullseye can throw, which, unlike the example I made earlier, this time I'm doing it correctly.
Yeah, accurate.
So
You nailed it.
there's a lot going on there. But so those are the majority of the changes I think that we haven't talked about yet. Granted, we did get some spoilers for the Colossus and Gambit cards. We'll talk about that next week.
I'm excited.
As
Gambit looks real good.
Gambit is real nice.
And I'm pretty happy with Colossus being a basically powered up Luke Cage.
Yeah, which we somewhat expected. We were it'll be for Luke Cage. Otherwise, it's going to be just Luke Cage.
Yeah,
So
we're pretty spot on.
yep.
Speaking of Luke Cage, though, Tyler used him in our game on Monday, and he was
sir.
really happy with him.
I enjoyed him a lot.
Did you get a sweet Christmas off?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
I got one off.
There we go.
He played smart with Luke Cage, too, because he was like, oh, Blade likes it when people are bleeding around him. I'm just going to make a beeline at Blade. Even though I purposely didn't deploy Blade across from Luke Cage. He was like, nope, running over there.
I put Luke almost towards the middle, right?
Yeah, he was like dead center almost.
The best thing about the term beeline is that most honeybees have a range around their hive of about 3 miles, and they don't wander. They go directly to the place that they will be collecting pollen from, and then directly back to the hive.
Is that why it's called a beeline?
It is. That is why it's called the beeline.
I did not know that.
Tim
Cool,
really
I learned something. Today wasn't wasted.
Tim really likes bees.
I'm a big fan of bees. Most of my models are painted black and yellow, so bees are pretty cool. Anyway, let's get into one of the things that I put on the title of this episode, which was the Dark Intruder Encounter.
Oh, yeah, we did say we were going to talk about that, even though I don't want to.
Right. It's not because we didn't read the cards, because some of us did. I'm not one of those people, and neither is Dan. But
Good thing we have Tyler here.
thank gosh
It's
for
what I'm
Tyler.
for.
So a couple things. I did read through the Dark Encounter or Dark Intruder Encounter rules, and they made some clarifications that I do not believe have been on other clarifications before, which I really liked. Now, the important thing is I don't know if I will be able to remember what piqued my curiosity there as I look through that booklet again.
I do have to say the setup for this has the most range increment things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like,
it looks like one
wow.
of the special event things.
I'm almost glad I'm not playing in this to have to set this up. Good luck, Anthony.
So we will be playing this Monday. It'll
Fine.
be myself, a Tactical Taylor, and Tyler as our most read person that has looked at this particular encounter. And effectively, what the premise of the encounter is that the Crisis team is going to be gathering spell components and bringing them to portals that are in a different part of the map to try to close these 4 portals before Dormammu can fully materialize. Dormammu gets 2 characters to bring in with him based on the difficulty of the particular game that you are playing. He can bring in stronger and stronger characters, starting at narrative with threat 3, ranging up to threat 5 with the insane level.
Could you imagine Dormammu flanked by Juggernaut and like MODOK?
Yeah, so I guess
What?
remember earlier when we were talking about really wanting to play all those 5s together, and I was like, oh, just play against Dormammu on Insane, and then I can have Scarlet Witch and Juggernaut.
No thanks.
I don't want to deal with that.
But so effectively, Dormommy is trying to get her Melkers into our universe, and the longer time goes on, the more that those Melkers become Dormammied. So you are trying to
What are
prevent
you
that from
saying
happening.
right now?
Listen, I've read this very thoroughly. This is canon. But each of the Crisis team members get kind of that standard 17. I think it's the Ultron one where it's a little bit lower. I think you get 12 or 14 in that one. And in every one since then, I feel like we've gotten...
I think Ultron's 15 each.
Oh, this was the thing. This was a clarification that I do not believe has been in other stuff before. It very well could have been. But when you play a tactics card, which affects everything for a round, it only affects it until the end of the next crisis threat turn. So in the way the round activations go in a crisis event is the crisis team effectively gets 3 rounds of activating 3 characters at a time, followed by a turn of the crisis threat. After 3 rounds of that have gone, then you go to a new round. So how we thought it was before, if you use Bitter Rivals, say during the first activation of your 3, during that round, that Bitter Rivals would stay up the whole time. That's not the case.
They
It
each
only-
count as a new round.
Each time any effect that lasts for a round ends during the next Crisis Threat player's turn.
We also constantly forgot or just totally missed that any characters that didn't get to activate on the Crisis Threat team,
Get a small, short movement.
they get a short move before the next round starts.
Huge shout out to Bearded Dragon Games Online Anthony over there, who has put in a code called PCME10 where you can get 10% off your orders there. Had enlightened us to that at one point, and I don't think we ever remembered it.
No,
when
totally
playing
missed
Crisis
it.
Threat.
Yeah, he's the only one that ever caught that. And he's like, hey, wait a minute. They should have been moving this whole time. And it's like, wait, what? Makes a huge difference. That's a good rule.
Correct. So there are a couple different things to interact with on the board. We have Dark Dimension Portals, which are targets of opportunity. We have Dimensional Rifts, which are special terrain features. We also have the Nexus as a terrain feature, and Shards and Spell Components, which are both assets. Shards are going to be picked up by the Crisis Threats team, as you get those, I believe, from harming the Crisis
You
team.
can get them from putting the Crisis team down, and there was another way to get them.
Can't
I
you
think
like
they're
pick
also
them
on
up
the
from the
field.
dimensional rifts?
I
or
think
something?
so. Yeah,
And
there
then-
are 2 ways to get them.
There's also this Mystical Surge deck that has 8 cards and have statuses and stuff on them and special things for the players to do. These are super cool, and if there's a time to read them, it is definitely blind and right now. So as far as Tyler, do you know how one gets these Mystical Surge cards?
So you get the Surge cards after you fill one of these wonderful little portals with your spell components.
Oh.
They go bluey, cease to function as they should, and you get one of those Mystical Surge cards.
bluey
And
so
some
much.
of them are really, really good, and some of them are basically shooting yourself in the foot.
I love that.
Sweet.
I do
Sweet.
too. I think that's really interesting.
And it's
not
random, just like when you get a
straight up
spell
boost.
component token, it's totally random. They're all face down, and you're like, okay, I really need a purple one to finish this portal thing. Oh crap, I got another blue
Oh,
one.
so you also have to Simon Says It.
Yeah.
A little
Because
bit.
they're all like this, and you shuffle them together.
And there's like 20 of them, right? They get scattered around the board. They're all over the place. Or they slowly come out through.
So they're all in a pool, and whenever you interact with something to pick one up, that's like a new
I
one.
see.
It's random, but like if somebody drops one that they already have, I think it just goes on the table face up.
So we'll read a couple of these cards
that
quick.
or cease to exist.
Probably not go through all of them, but one of the ones that sticks out to me is Banishment. So this becomes a Mystic attack, range 3, strength 8. And if you roll a crit, hit, wild, a crit, a wild, and 2 hits, you get Banishment. Double the damage dealt by this attack. And as an additional effect of this attack, you may re-roll any number of the attack dice for this attack. And the damage from this attack cannot be prevented by the beings from another dimension special rule. Which, I believe, is not on Dormommy's card.
Poor Dormommy.
Poor Dormommy. He has incredible physical conditioning, though. So when this card is revealed, choose a Crisis Team character. That character may use the above attack once this game, then discards the card. I really like that it can last through rounds. It could potentially last through being dazed. It is something that they are able to do. And at strength 8, and being able to double the damage and having it unprevented is baller, I think.
Baller.
You'll be able to take a bullseye off the board real quick.
Oof. I mean, you can in any game.
He only has
but-
2 Mystic Defense now. I don't know if you knew that.
One I really like from filling these things is Terrors of the Void. One of the ones that shoots you in the foot Tyler was talking about. It says, when this card is revealed, the Cosmic Threat player may advance all Crisis Team characters within 2 of a closing portal short. So you can just put them, move them all around. You go this way, you go that way.
And I think
What?
if you're too close to the portals, is it if you activate them or if you get too close to them, they actually damage whatever character is near them?
Oh, then you're like puking up mystic energies.
Yep. Finally, the Cosmic Threat player. Nope, that's their deployment. Bada bada ba. Yeah, one of these things damages characters near them. It does a damage if you're near it or activate it. Where was it?
Oh, a Dark Dimension portal. Place
Yep.
this character, interact with the Dark Dimension portal. Place this character within one of a dimensional rift. Dormammu gains 1 power, and the Crisis Team character suffers 1 damage. Characters may use this interactability once per turn.
Okay,
So, like,
it's only
you
when
can
they
use his
interact.
teleporters against him, but it hurts you and powers him up.
Yep.
What? This is going to be more complicated than that Magneto one that we totally didn't play right.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Not only that, but Dormammu has 4 different levels of Dormelkers. So, ranging from 0 presence to 3 presence, getting more defense as time goes on, as well as,
More stamina, longer movement.
yeah, bigger, stronger, faster, harder.
His attacks don't power up, but I think there are other things that get better.
He
As he gets
gets more
powered up, presence 2 and 3, one of it, incantation of obliteration, and at 2, the spectral claws have this orange box around it. That must mean something.
I think they go up in strength when he goes. What I noticed was like things with the orange outline are usually the things that got boosted when he went up to a different power level. When he goes up another level, he and his entire team, his 2 little helpers, get power based on what stage he's at too.
Yes. So it looks like the ones that have the orange outline do get improved. Spectral Claws going from Presence 1 to Presence 2 gets reduced in power.
Incantation of obliteration from 2 to 3 presence changes from range 3 to A2.
Nice.
Ooh.
And that's brutal. Incantation of obliteration at range A2 with 8 dice, and you count skulls as successes in both the attackers and defenders rolls on multiple people at once. Ugh.
Here's one of
I
the things.
didn't notice that. That's terrifying.
Here's one of the things I'm not super happy with. I feel like it's all case by case, but Dormammu is immune to bleed, incinerate, stagger, and stun, which I feel like are super important debuffs that, like in other previous Ultimate encounters, are things you had to bring. You had to bring that for Ultron. You had to put bleed on Hulk, and it let you kind of bring some other characters that maybe weren't as strong, but you had Crystal there for a very reliable incinerate, or Ghost Rider, or some of those things to be able to get those defenses down. It's difficult. I don't know how a strength 2 or 3, I'm sorry, a threat 2 or 3 characters is supposed to damage someone with defenses that high when you can't get them reduced. That's rough.
Yeah.
Especially at 5.66 at his 3 presence side.
Just hearing
He's
multiple
disgusting.
6s. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So what do you plan on taking against this threat, Tyler?
So I am going with a trio of T's because it is the battle of T's.
It
with
is.
Taylor, Tim, and Tyler. So I'm bringing Thanos, and I thought about bringing the Time Gem, but it changed. So I'm taking. Oh, I forget which one it is. Do you remember which one I was thinking?
All right. Oh, you are taking a gem. Did you decide on reality?
I think it was reality.
Reality or space? I think you.
Can you use gems in
Oh, it was
Encounter?
space because.
Oh,
stupid
that's a
ability.
good point. Can you use infinity gems?
Oh,
I
that might
think
change
so.
some things. I didn't see anything against it.
I saw something referring to gems. I have no idea what it said.
In the organized play kit that we played a couple weeks ago, that's centered around Dormammu type stuff, they were not allowed.
Yeah.
But I don't see anything in here. It's when building a squad, you get 17 threat, and then tactics cards based on the difficulty.
Oh, so here's the thing that I saw. When building the minions for Dormammu, it says that you can use heroes and villains, and gives a narrative. It was like, maybe the Hulk is being controlled by the mind game. You know, you never know. So I saw a gem and was like, oh, there's special rules. But nope, it's just like, this is why Hulk's bad now. Just pretend.
It's just an excuse.
All right, so
Yeah.
it sounds like you can use whichever gem you had decided on. I don't remember. I think it was reality or space.
I think it was space because I wanted the extra teleporting, and being able to teleport him around would be really nice because he can go boop and move other people, but not himself.
So I will say, because one of the characters that you have that starts with a T is a very big man that busts Hulks. Being able to teleport him around
That's
is real nice. Making
Yeah.
sure that he's in range to punch the hell out of Dormammu is going to be...
that was my
Relevant.
goal.
Yeah.
So I'm taking Thanos with the space gem. I'm taking Hulkbuster because Tony Stark, and Hulkbuster's just a bigger one, and there's only I think there's 5 characters that have a T as the first letter in their name. That's it. Just 5. And then I'm taking T'Challa because I was going to take Thor, who's a 5 threat, but with Thanos taking the gem, I needed a 4 threat, and T'Challa's the only 4 threat that starts with a T. So Black Panther, Hulkbuster, and Thanos with the space gem.
I like it.
I think it'll be fun.
I like
2
seeing
big beef sticks and one really, really fast guy to futz around with trying to get spell components.
Yeah.
I actually really like Thanos on the Crisis team. Like I really like just like that
What if?
what if? Where like Thanos was a good guy.
The same wavelength. we're
Oh,
on.
right? So and I loved all those little interactions. So it was like, right, but genocide, really? And he's like, well, hold up.
Maybe there's a better way to do this. No, I think what it is Dormommy is threatening his role of destroying humanity, and he wants to do it. So he's going to side with the good guys to stop this so that he gets that.
Just for a minute.
Yeah,
Just for a little bit.
to be fair, Thanos is someone who seems like he would have Dormammu issues. He does not seem like a Dormammy's boy, I guess is what I'm getting at here.
I just love when we were talking about this. Tyler was really excited to play a different way. You only played 2 games, but you're like, oh, there's a different way we can do this. I want to try that too. And then he was like, I want to bring like 3 really powerful characters, and I was like, do it.
Yeah.
Yes, that sounds super fun. And Taylor, you guys are gonna you're gonna have a hard time with names on Monday.
Oh, well, no, I just remember that Taylor's Tyler with an A.
If you say Taylor, I'll respond too, because I'm used to people calling me Taylor.
Or
So
if you
that'll
just
be
say
fun.
Tactical Taylor every time, I think that would roll off the
Right.
tongue easier. I was like, maybe Taylor will play like a more like Sam Spam kind of list, or maybe he'll just lean into it and also just take like Magneto and what's the other 6th threat?
Well, so what?
That left my head.
The
And there's
list
somebody
that
else.
you ran that one time that was like big guys was Hulk, Magneto, and Ebony Maw. Which now that Ebony Maw has gotten a pretty massive upgrade,
Huge.
and Hulk has gotten a massive upgrade.
Yeah.
Amazing.
He was good.
That'd be a Dormammu pounding team for sure.
Okay, what kind of Taylor? You're not listening right now because I think you're also streaming. But I want to see Hulk, make Ebony Maw make a return.
Yeah.
And then that's 11, so he's got 6 left. Magneto,
Oh yeah. Yep.
Hulk, Magneto, and a 5 threat, Ebony Maw or MODOK or something. Mm-hmm.
MODOK.
Or Cassandra Nova, just to make Mitch definitely want to tune
We
in.
need to stop making Mitch mad. Mitch is one of my favorite people. Also,
I said so he can tune in, so he can just yell about how bad Cassandra Nova is the whole time, which is actually really good, but the character he's not a fan of.
I have a special thing. I've been super busy this week, and I've added something that will be debuting this Monday on Oh Yeah, the Power Phase, where we have some new rewards that you can redeem for both bits or channel points that'll blast some incredibly annoying sounds at us.
Oh, we get annoying noises too?
I've seen that on
Yes.
Taylor's stream. People, you can like make a duck quack and it scares him every time, and it's really
Yeah.
funny because he's always like "Doop-a-doop, playing Minecraft," because
So-
a duck quacks.
So we have some good ones. The most expensive one is playing Baby Shark for a minute, but
Oh,
I feel like
why would you want
I
to do
feel
that?
like people use that responsibly.
Okay,
I hope.
just like they made you talk like Groot responsibly.
Who was that again? Who did that?
Not me.
That's true. It was someone whose name is very similar to you.
My better half. I'm getting a call from work. I have to take real quick.
Oh.
Sis.
Uh-oh. Listen, they're probably in chat right now.
Never mind. I missed it.
Dan's work.
Oops.
What's going on? You're obviously some of the concurrent viewers.
Oh, we're going remote.
Oh,
Partly, sort of, tomorrow.
high five, right?
I mean, I guess so.
Well, you were already going to take off, right? It's
Yeah.
kind of, now you don't.
It was one of those where it's like, man, I was going to take off tomorrow anyway, and now I wouldn't have any students. I kind of want to wait till next week, but I can't. Not gonna. But yeah, I'm sure they're just a call about that to follow up the email I got earlier today.
Gotcha.
Hello, Rocco.
Wee.
So, last thing to close off this particular episode, there's one thing that I would really like to know from both of you. That's how your game went Monday. What did you bring? What crisis side did you play?
It was a wild game.
Yeah?
It was insane.
Tyler is so much like his sister because he doesn't get paid by the hour. It was an hour-long game-ish. We were done at
Really?
8:20.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was
After technical
crazy.
difficulties
So
in the start.
Yeah, we had to figure out how to get audio again, but I figured it out. So we played Cosmic Cubes and another one that wasn't the same.
Meteors.
Yes,
The
thank you, the
Meteors.
Meteors. And we played at, was it 17th, right?
17.
So I did Midnight Suns. So they were new. We hadn't seen them in a normal game yet because you used them for that organized play.
Correct.
So I obviously had, Blade. Took Moon Knight because he's also new, and then I added Black Cat for a third Midnight Sun character. And I was trying to, I wanted to add characters that had
Black
bleed.
Cat's a Midnight Sun. She's on that affiliation.
Yes.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's on a lot. She's kind of like the Wolverine of not X-Men.
Dude, that's
She's
super
so
rad.
good.
Don't be mean to Black Cat.
But then I took Drax and Hela because I'd used Hela the week before, and she didn't do what I wanted her to, and I wanted to give her another shot. And so I wanted to, and as soon as I told Tyler the list I was playing, he was like, "Oh, you just want to bleed everything," and I was like, "You've played one game, and you know what you're talking about."
I thought more of your characters had bleed than did, though.
Yeah,
I thought every one of them had a bleed, so I was terrified.
so. It's a little frustrating that Blade really wants as many characters bleeding as possible
Yeah.
near him. No other Midnight Suns character has bleed other than Blade.
Not even Black Cat.
Not
Oh,
even
'cause she
Black
has
Cat.
Pierce instead of bleed on the
Yeah.
claws, right?
And a
Moon Knight
stagger.
doesn't have it on
Yeah,
his random
she does.
bullshit. The only other ones on there are Doctor Voodoo, Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme. I don't believe has a bleed anywhere,
No, he doesn't.
and Ghost Rider does not have a bleed, or Wong does not have a bleed.
Yeah, Wong is notoriously not a bleeder.
So I was like, wait, I can't. I wanted to build a bleed list with Blade, but nobody else on Midnight Suns has bleed. So I had to outsource to Drax and Hela. It was a super fun game, but it was an interesting list they were up against.
I had Hulk, the typical Tony Stark Iron Man. I didn't take Hulkbuster, but I took Tony anyway because he was one of my favorites when I played with you.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see his changes. I thought more change than
Yeah.
just his Friday AI. And my whole goal with the Friday AI was a cap thing, but I didn't take him, so it was 2 power instead of just 1.
But so it's almost like you were playing an unbuffed version of Iron Man on the Avengers.
yeah,
Because whenever
pretty
you
much.
did use Friday AI, it was now 2. So it was kind of like
Which
the
was
one,
never.
but the odds of one.
It was the Iron Man I was used to.
Yes.
So I had Hulk, Iron Man. I had, what is the bleed immune guy's name? I can't
Luke
remember.
Cage.
Luke Cage. And then I had Doctor Strange.
Mm.
I think that was it, right?
Yeah, because you didn't take a gem on him because you wanted to take Hulk.
Yep, because
Fit
I
him in
wanted
there.
Hulk to see how he went.
And you used New Hulk, right?
Yes, I used New
Yes,
Hulk. and
all right.
He's amazing.
Whew.
Easily one of my favorite characters and my MVP of that game.
It was crazy. So Tyler just swept the objectives like no problem. I grabbed a couple of I think I had 3 Cosmic Cubes round 1, but he had the Meteors, no problem. Hulk just sat on one the whole time and was like, nope, nope, nope. Like, go away. A Black Cat was trying so hard to kick him in the nuts and just could not land a blow. Every round, she had 1 power at the beginning. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to Cat's Claws to try to get 1 power on her. And then flub the roll, or he rolled, because Hulk has 4 physical defense now.
Yeah.
She just couldn't get through. And I was like, all right, I'm going to spend my 1 power to try to flip the meteor back to my side. And then she would do it. And then I'm like, all right, I don't have anything else. I don't want to leave this objective with her. So then Hulk can just flip it back easier.
Yeah.
So I had Cat's Claw again, and then I would do 2 damage and get my 2 power. But, yeah. And then he would just smack her off of the objective.
Yeah.
Hela actually did really well against Hulk. At the end of the game, I
of
think I did 14 damage to Hulk. So, like, I was trying to kill him, and Hela was doing a good job of it.
He had like 15 or 16 damage on him at the end of the game. He was almost down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, if anybody else had been over there, Hela would have taken him out. And she was full up on soul tokens a couple of times. Like, I spent all of them at one point, and then she got back to full again. But he was just obliterating me with attacks. Like,
Gotcha.
round 2, Doctor Strange was like, I don't like Drax in my face, because they were both on the center objective. And Doctor Strange was like, nope. So he just cast his spells, dazed Drax, no problem.
Oh,
Boop, done.
because you needed Drax too to take down Hulk, because he can actually chuck Hulk around still, can't he? Right?
I was terrified of Drax
Yeah.
because of his bonus against whoever just smacked him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not want him getting anywhere near Hulk. I didn't want him getting anywhere near anyone.
Drax
So,
is
yeah.
someone I want to play a lot more. He has some really neat stuff.
He
Baby
just put a
Hulk.
big old target on Drax. Took him out. He just did Bolts of Devilment twice that round. Pushed him back once and then dazed him the next attack. And I was like, all right, well, I got round 3.
Even through his invulnerability.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no problem. He
I
just rolled fire.
horrendously well.
Then round 3, he was like, no, I really want Drax gone. And he still had priority because he had 4 characters. So what did you do to Drax?
Helios laser bombardment with Tony.
Oh,
He was at full, 6 health left on his injured side, and just got lasered to death.
Got what, 12 damage on that roll, and I rolled.
Yeah, you only had
something like
14 dice, and you
14
did
dice.
12 damage.
Yeah.
Tyler.
so I found out what Tyler's power is. So when I played Tyler, it was skulls and blanks for days.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
rolling like me. He just saps the powers of whoever is around him normally. Sometimes those powers are mine and are bad. So, okay. All right, I'm excited for Monday.
It
again
was
now.
crazy. And then, like, Luke Cage was like, hey, Moon Knight, get over here. Bam! Like, he sweet Christmased him, and Moon Knight was just like, I'm going to take a nap now.
The personality I am today is tired.
Yeah. Blade didn't do too poorly. I think you dazed him at the very end.
I
'cause you're
dazed
like,
him right at the end.
yeah, because it was like, you won the game, but you're like, I want to finish this round because I want to take Blade down. And I was like, go for it, dude. Like, you're wrecking me. Hulk was just slapping ladies around on his side of the table. He was like, oh, there's 2 characters over here? I don't care. Bam!
And I had a heal with Doctor Strange, and if Hulk got any lower, I was like, my next turn, if it got that far, I was gonna wander Doctor Strange over and go, you're a little hurt. Heal. Put them back together. It'll be fine.
It's so perfect that you talked about Hulk smacking around ladies. This is a very random aside and is way off topic, but I got recommended a podcast about Chippendales dancers, and it also has to do with Hulk-like people sometimes slapping around other people.
Aw.
And not ladies. No ladies get smacked around.
Oh, that's better then.
That's
There's
good.
a lot of hitmen and a lot of bad hitmen that don't actually end up killing people get hired in crazy hijinksable ways. It's an insane story. It's like Tiger King mixed with McMillions. It's real good.
That
sounds pretty interesting. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to give it a look-see.
I think one of Tyler's best activations that game was that it was my left meteor objective that Hulk was sitting on, and there was Hela was kind of far away because you had like pushed her out of position. So I think the turn before.
Thrown her.
Oh, you just threw her away, not even into anything. You were just like, nope, yeet over there. And then it was one of his last activations, and he was like, all right, Black Cat, you're being annoying. So he just backhanded her, knocked her away, dazed her. And then he was like, Hela, you're kind of far, so I'm just going to clap at you. So he just thunderclapped to have range 3 and then dazed her. I think at the end of the game, I had nobody
You didn't have
Uninjured.
anyone unhealthy.
like either KO'd or dazed. Like everybody was laying on the ground hurt. I was like, wow. And he won. I think you got I think it was 19. You ended up scoring.
I have no clue.
It was 19-4 at the end of round 3. It was a shellacking.
Wow.
I didn't let Tyler win by any means. Like, I was like, what is happening right now? Like,
We were both laughing hysterically a couple times too, because it was just,
it was absurd.
I don't know what's going on.
14 laser dice, and he rolls 12 damage.
I was trying to make sure Drax went down, but
I was like, 14 dice, I got 6 damage. You have to do 7 damage because he, soaks one. I was like, he's got a chance to survive. And then he rolled the dice, and I was like, never mind, take him off the table. Holy crap.
I love that. Like, just reminiscent of playing video games, always hoarding my resources. You know what I mean? Saving that big attack for the boss. And it's like, oh, he just has a minion left. And just using that big super doom beam. Just, Drax is gone.
I did really like Blade and Moon Knight, though. Moon Knight was really cool. Bump in the Night, I only used once. And then I ended up moving right after it anyway, so it kind of didn't matter in that case, but I could see it being really good in other instances. So I really want to try Midnight Suns again with the new Ghost Rider in there, and by the next time I play, we should have like Dr. Voodoo to try out in there as well.
Yeah, hoping
Really
that.
want to see Ghost Rider in a game.
Oh, Ghost Rider's good, and he got I thought he was pretty decent as a 5 threat, and now he's good, real good.
I had a follow-up question. Oh, did you use the Wakanda Forever for?
It was the only tactics card I got to use. I did,
How
and
did
I got to use it with all 3 of my Midnight Suns characters,
Hell yeah.
and they whiffed pretty bad.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
That game was just ridiculous.
Yeah, it was like, all right, well, I mean, I got to use something, I guess, because Moon Knight was like, katanas, and Luke Cage was like, I don't know what that means.
What are you doing?
I don't speak French.
Then I couldn't even bleed him with it. And then Moon Knight, I think, I went with throwing crescents. I never used the bow staff that game.
Random bullshit.
I threw throwing crescents. I think I was trying to take Iron Man down, and it
Yeah.
just didn't work. And then I didn't even get the rapid fire on it. I was like, I just got to roll a hit. I want to do it twice. And I was like, no, I didn't. I got 1 damage or whatever it was. It was so bad.
So here's my thought. Raven's Guard, as always, brings up a great point, in that you must make a spider sacrifice.
So we were talking about that on the stream. We
were.
figured out why Tyler's dice were so hot.
You sacrificed a spider early in the day?
Close.
I have a bearded dragon. Bearded dragons eat bugs. Plus, I was playing at the bearded dragon.
Yeah, so he fed his bearded dragon crickets earlier that day, and I was like, that's it. We just have to destroy arthropods, and the dice gods love that.
So make sure to feed Fury on Monday. Okay.
So I think maybe we'll change one of the channel points rewards that gives you a bunch of rerolls to spider sacrifice.
Go find a spider and kill it.
With fire, specifically.
Or just a new one that gives you +1 successes on their next roll.
I did feed
regardless
the
of what
bugs
it
to
is.
a dragon, too. And she's red.
She's a red bearded dragon? Mm-hmm. That is cool.
They're called breaded dragons.
Oh, God. So real quick, before we're done, since we're already way over,
Just a touch.
Tyler, what are your most wanted for this game?
Ooh.
We talk about it all the time. Everybody knows what we want in this game, Iceman and Stiltman. But what are your most wanted characters? I know you're not a huge comic buff, but I'm sure there are characters out there you'd like to see in this game.
I'm honestly not super duper sure because I don't know who all is already in it.
So if
And it's
you
got
got one and
most
we
of
say,
the
"Oh, we
people-
have them," you'll be really excited.
Well,
Yeah.
it's got most of the people I like. It's got Doctor Strange. I love Iron Man.
Okay.
Captain America's always been one of my favorites, especially because of that wonderful, wonderful laser thing he does with Iron Man and his shield. And they can do that. Scarlet Witch is one of my favorites. Is the Flash in it? Or not the Flash, Scarlet Witch's brother.
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver.
He is too? Okay, well, there's that one.
They're both Brotherhood and Avengers, so you can take them a couple different places.
We've got Thor already. That covers most of the ones
Man,
I'm
he
super
doesn't
familiar
even.
with.
You don't even need
Yeah.
any more. You don't
And
even need
Hulk.
Cassandra Nova.
That's true. I would like maybe some new Hulks, a variant Hulk.
I'd like Joe Fixit.
Yeah, Lex
I
and
mean-
White also really wanted Joe Fixit.
I already did my Hulk as Gray Hulk, but I would also like Hulk in a pinstripe suit.
That would be cool.
Sicarian Hulk.
What's the
I just
Hulk?
want Scar
Yeah.
too. But yeah,
Me-
what was he called in that? The green. I just read that
Yeah,
not that long ago. What was the Green Scar?
Yeah.
I want that version of Hulk with gladiator armor and a big axe and
That
whatnot.
would be amazing.
Right?
Hulk with a weapon?
I would love to see
Or
because
Maestro.
he would be toned down a bit because he was depowered on Sakaar, so like he could actually flip and be like a 4 or 5 threat instead. That would be super cool.
Yeah.
Maestro would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loves Maestro.
I'd be putting beards on Hulk for a reason this time.
Isn't there... It's not the Hulk. It's someone else who got exposed to radiation, and he's basically the Hulk, but he's got these big bone spurs out of his elbows.
Abomination.
Yes. Is he in the game?
No,
I would love to see him.
sure, I like Abomination. That'd be cool.
I think that would be super duper cool. to
Elbow
see.
spike attack.
And Deadpool's in it, so...
Yeah.
He's another one.
Oh yeah,
He's
you were really excited
squishy.
for Deadpool.
Like
He
he
can,
has the
yeah.
healing factor, but with only 4 on his healthy side, I thought he was really squishy, and then he flips and has 6, so he's a little better. But
Yeah, it's a little. I'd rather he be 5'5" because
Yeah.
that 4 is a big difference.
It really is.
But if you don't take him out in one hit, his healing factor is really good.
yeah, his healing factor's nuts.
So he's really fun. I used him a lot when we did a league thing, and he was on my roster. I got a
And he
lot
was
of
immune
experience
to
with
damage.
Deadpool.
Bang, bang, bang.
Like you just couldn't put damage on Deadpool. It was so he has 4 health. I spent 5 attacks on him. Why is he still awake?
That was a great game. He just would not go down. And then
he
when
knows karate.
when you finally did flip him, and then you KO'd him in one hit on his injured side, and it was like, what happened here?
I don't understand how this works. But that said, everyone, head over to beardeddragongames.online. Use that code PCME10 when you pick up your MCP models. I don't know if you knew this or not, but it's difficult to get the Venom model. And apparently they have some in stock. So
Not anymore.
Oh, nuts.
2 people ordered them today from chatting on Facebook, and that was the last of his current stock.
So if you don't need Venom and you need other characters, beardeddragongames.online seems like a great place to get them. Outside that, follow us on all of our socials, facebook.com/professionalcasual, Instagram's there, The Professional Casual, or, just go over to professionalcasual.com. You can find all of our podcasts. We have actual plays. We have not plays that are actual. And we play a lot of things.
Don't forget, if you're watching this on the YouTube, to subscribe to the channel
yeah.
and give this video a like. Help other people find it as well.
And we'll see you on Monday on the Twitch, twitch.tv/Professional Casual Network, where Taylor, Tyler, and Tim will play a terrific tintounter called Dark Intruder Encounter's Tig Tortami Titties.
Wow. Are you okay right now?
I had a trunk.
All right, I need dinner.
Yep. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Toodles. I'm so excited for Monday.
You said toodles there. That was good.